If you follow my Twitter, Twitter is at Carl Talking NCAA. Carl Talking College was too long. Now I ain't is 15 characteristics. So Carl Talking NCAA. I am hot that South Florida is not ranked, but I'll get in that in a second. So we have at number 1, no surprise here, UConn. UConn stays atop at the number 1 spot, especially after dominating Marquette. Just straight dominance. Yeah, man, I don't even know what to say for real. It's just straight dominance. Bobby Hurley is just building a dominant program at UConn. They look poised to go back to back. Number 2, who plays later today, is Houston. Houston is now number 2 in the country. They move up from 3 after Purdue takes a bad loss to Ohio State. Funny thing about that game, right? So first of all, it's Ohio State's first win since firing Chris Holtmann. So shout out to them, even though I'm an MSU fan, but still, I can't be biased on the show, so shout out to them. But I know I'm a degenerate. I was going to bet on Purdue, but what made me stay away is I said this to myself. I said, Purdue has a history of struggling with Ohio State for some reason. Like maybe they don't lose, which sometimes they do. But for some reason, those games are tough battles for Purdue. So I should have took the 8.5, which they won outright, but I ended up staying away. But yeah, Ohio State gets a big win in terms of playing spoiler. They're not making the tournament, so they're just playing spoiler at this point. Purdue drops to 3 with that loss, which is kind of crazy. But I guess being only a 3-loss team and the 4th-ranked Arizona Wildcats is a 5-loss team, kind of makes sense. 5 is Tennessee, which I kind of got a little rant later. 6 is Iowa State, not mad at, playing really good basketball. Marquette is 7. Marquette must have been 4 at the time, but I could have swore they were 7. Either way, 7. Duke is 8. Kansas is 9. Kansas drops 3 spots, 2-9. Who they lose? Oh, they got boat raced by Texas Tech. That's what it was. Yeah, Texas Tech came out and was unconscious with 3. UNC drops to 10. They lost to Syracuse. Baylor goes up to 11. Illinois goes from 14 to 12. Beat the Turks. Alabama goes up from 15 to 13. Auburn drops from 13 to 14 after getting blown out by Kentucky. Well, not blown out, but dominated. I'm wrong. Not blown out. Dominated. Creighton goes up to 15. Dayton sits at 16. Kentucky moves from 22 to 17. St. Mary stays put at 18. San Diego State goes from unranked to 19 after they got 2 huge wins against Colorado State and Utah State to go to first place in the Mountain West. South Carolina dropped from 11 to 20. Honestly, thought they was going to kill us even worse. I thought we might even drop out after blowing that game to LSU and losing by 40 to Auburn, but we stayed ranked at 21. No, excuse me, at 20. At 21, I called it. I was surprised they wasn't ranked last week. Shout out my boy Jarrell. What up, Jarrell? What's good, my boy? Yeah, man, I've been doing this for a little while now. I appreciate you for stopping by, listening. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be too long. I'm just talking about some polls and then 3 games for the night, and that's it. But appreciate you stopping by. But Washington State, I called it last week. I said I'm so surprised Washington State is not ranked last week. After especially getting a big win against Oregon, going on that little streak in the Pac-12. But now, and I said on the show, Washington State handles their business this week that just passed by beating Stanford. What's Stanford? Yeah, I think it was Stanford and Cal. They should be ranked. And not only are they ranked, they're not 25, 24. They are 21st in the country. So shout out to the Washington State Cougars for getting ranked. I think it's their first time being ranked for a long time, to be honest. So shout out to them. Colorado State actually is ranked at 22. They got a huge win too against no. So the San Diego State got a huge win against Colorado State and New Mexico. They beat New Mexico. Colorado State beat Utah State. San Diego State beat Colorado State and New Mexico. Texas Tech is now 23rd in the country, which I kind of got a rant about that. 24th in the country is Florida. They're a part of the rant. 25th is BYU, dropping from 19 to 25. They lost big time to Oklahoma State. Got dominated. They were down like double digits throughout the entirety of the game against Oklahoma State. Bad loss by the Cougars. Now, for my rant, and if you know me, I love giving props to mid-majors. How is South Florida basketball team not ranked? I don't understand it. South Florida, dominating win against FAU. South Florida, 2-game lead in the American Conference Basketball League. South Florida. I just want to be specific here. I want to get the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it's a double-digit win streak as we speak. South Florida is currently on a 11-game win streak. Haven't lost since early January. I believe like January 7th or something like that. Have not lost since January 7th. Had, like I said, beat FAU, who was 24th in the country at the time. Beat Charlotte, who was number 1 in the American at the time by 3. Beat North Texas. Beat UAB. They're running the table. They have one loss in American Conference play, and that was the UAB. They haven't beat UAB. I take that back. I thought they played the tiebreaker and won. I take that back. Nope. They actually did lose their only matchup to UAB, but that's besides the point. That UAB loss was January 7th. January 7th. It is now February 19th, 2024. They have not lost the game since. They should be ranked. 5 losses on the year, 19-5. Like I said, man, 2-game winning streak in the American Conference. It's the name sometimes with these rankings. It's annoying. South Carolina had to deal with it a couple weeks ago after beating Kentucky at home by 17. Was on like a 4-5 game win streak. Still wasn't ranked. Had to beat Tennessee and Vanderbilt to get ranked. I thought USF, all they had to do was beat FAU and Tulsa. And they dominated Tulsa. They won by 19. I thought those 2 wins for sure to get a 2-game lead in America. I thought that would for sure get them ranked. But unfortunately, it didn't work like that. They got teams in here with 7 losses. Florida, which Florida's been playing better of late, but I don't think Florida should be ranked not above USF. In my opinion, USF might be the best basketball team in Florida. They might be. I think they're better than Florida State. They might be better than Florida. I think they're better than FAU. I think they're better than UCF. They might be the best basketball team in Florida. And it doesn't show, unfortunately, because politics with the rankings. I think USF should be ranked ahead of Texas Tech, 18-7. I understand Texas Tech is in the best conference in college basketball, but yet and still, they're not dominant. They got their wins. Like I said, they boat raced Kansas. Great win against Kansas. Can't take that away from them. But they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place in the Big 12. 6th place in the Big 12 gets you ranked. TCU, unranked, is 5th. BYU is 7th in the Big 12 and is ranked 25th. Come on, man. Like, I don't get it. And Colorado State, love Colorado State to death. They took an L last week and became ranked. They lost by 16 last Tuesday and became ranked. How does that make sense? And y'all know I love me some Isaiah Stevens. I love Colorado State. But come on, 16-point loss just because you beat Utah State, who was unranked by 20 at home. Now you're ranked 22nd in the country? No. South Florida deserves to be ranked. It's unacceptable what the AP polls have done to South Florida. South Florida has been robbed. Now if South Florida slips up and loses the game after winning 11 straight, they're for sure not going to get ranked. And I feel like they got robbed of seeing their, a number beside their name on ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN Plus, or whatever, just to know, hey, we were ranked top 25 at one point in 2023-2024 season. They got robbed of that. Now, South Florida, they do play. Let me get back to their schedule. They have a game this week. I don't know. They have 1 or 2. They play UTSA Wednesday and SMU on Sunday. If they slip up and lose, unfortunately for them, that cost them a chance to having a number beside their name. But if they win 2 straight, AP gotta fix this. They have to fix this, and South Florida has to be ranked. I don't even care if they barely get at 25. They have to be ranked. And here's another injustice I have. Let's talk about the votes, because you know they show the votes of 26 through like 40, right? 26, Virginia. Cool. Okay, fine, even though they just took an L. Gonzaga at 99? We serious? Are we serious? This is one of the worst Gonzaga teams we've seen in some time. Wisconsin at 88. After, what are they on? They lost like 4 of their last 5 of their last 6, and we still want to rank them? My team, Michigan State, we should not be ranked ahead of South Florida right now. I understand we are playing really good basketball right now, but no, we should not be ranked ahead of South Florida. TCU, no. And now we get to South Florida with 45 votes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra teams in front of South Florida, even though South Florida has been balling since January 7th. Makes no sense to me. Shout out to Washington State. Like I said, man, I called them getting in there. I'm happy they got in at 21. But South Florida not being in the top 25 is just blasphemous. I don't understand how they didn't make it. I don't understand how they're not even top 30 according to the AP poll. Just makes no sense to me. But I got to move on. I got to move on to